Hey there, Crystal Thompson here for Unity. I'm so excited today with our color combos. We are continuing with the awesome purple scheme we got going on. If you were here last week, we were doing some very festive Halloween cards. Today we're doing a very festive floral card. We're using the I Am With You. This is an October 2018 release. So we're going back to 2 years ago when things were good using a floral. Awesome floral stamp set. It has a lot of really cool religious sentimental sentiments to it, and I just wanted to use the florals for this one. So I have these two really pretty flowers ready to go, and I have two pieces of white cardstock. I'm going to be using my hybrid black ink. This is going to be a Copic friendly ink, and I'm going to create a bit of an overlapped a range of borders kind of, but not too hard. So I'm going to be using four of these stamps. I'm going to use this stamp 4 times, and I'm going to do one on each corner. Then I'm going to come in and do the top and the bottoms to create kind of like an inner opening for the flowers. And so I'm going to show you how to use these awesome flowers. Like I said, these are 2 years old from October of 2018 that I really wanted to bring back with the same color combo theme that we had going on, and using a hybrid black ink, bringing stamp to ink pad just because it's small enough to be able to do it, and try not to overlap the flowers too hard, right? Too hard to the point where you can't color them. We're going to do some Copic coloring, but first we're going to do some cutting. So I have a mat that is ready to be used, and this is going to protect my surface, and then I have my Cricut, it's kind of like an X-Acto knife that you use for cutting your vinyl, and I'm going to follow along the edges of my flower, and I'm going to give it just enough room to be able to bring my scissors shortly and do a little bit of fuzzy cutting all around these florals to create an inner cut on the card. And again, you can go back and fold the cardstock if you wanted to. I kind of chose not to do that. The reason why is that I wanted to just make enough of a cut, bring back my scissors, do some fuzzy cutting, and follow along the edges of those awesome flower petals. And just grabbing some detailed scissors, we're going to follow along, and I found it was easiest to kind of make some of the larger cuts and then come back and doing the itty bitty cuts and really following along. And it doesn't have to be perfect, but this is a great way if you wanted to make a shaker. I'm not going to make a shaker, going to keep it super simple and just add some ink blending. So my flowers are ready to go. We're going to set that aside. I'm going to bring in 2 colors of Distress Oxides. These are the same colors from last week, so if you were here last week, these are the same ones, and if you didn't, hop on over to the last video where we did a Halloween card with the 2 colors. We're using Seedless Preserves and the awesome Wilted Violet, and so we're going to do one on one end and one on the other. I'm using the same brush, so don't be afraid when you're using one color family to do some of the ink blending with the same brush. And so I'm going to just ink blend enough to where the frame cut of florals that we just did is going to fit very nicely. I'm going to check that. We're going to check the size. It fits, it's ready to go. So we're going to come in and grab some stuff to splatter. We're going to splatter this with some water, and so it's going to create that beautiful look that you get by using Distress Oxides. And then we're going to splatter it with white. This is going to be Altenews Pure White. It's just white paint, and using again the back end of it to splatter. You can even do some watercolor and splatter it with white watercolor or silver. We're going to set that aside and come back to our florals. So we're going to be using 4 colors of Copic colors, and these are all going to be in the same color family. We're going to begin with V20, and V20 is going to color the entire floral. So be sure that this is going to be your first layer, and we're going to color the entire thing. And as you can see, this is real time. I'm not fast forwarding it, and I just want to show you how easy it was to do. I'm going to bring in my next shade. This is V25, and I'm going to do some flicker. So we're going to just feather and flicker this marker to the top, and following the lines of the floral, it's really going to create a nice look. It's going to look very, very cute and soft looking, especially when you're coloring flowers. I like them to be super soft looking, and if you follow the lines of the petals, they will really kind of contour the flower. I'm going to put that one aside and come back with V17. This is just a really nice bright bright purple, and I'm gonna keep this to the bottom of my florals, again following the edges of the petals. And if you wanted to come in with a little lighter, such as like an RV17, which is more pink, it'll fit nicely with that ink blending of the Seedless Preserves ink blending that we just did earlier. I'm gonna come back with RV20 and just blend those. My micro was kind of dry, so we're gonna have to do a real refilling after this. But we're gonna continue coloring. Once this is done, we are ready to put our card together. We're gonna grab some double-sided foam adhesive. I'm gonna cut quite a long strip, and this is just black foam adhesive. And the reason I'm doing a black long strip is that we're gonna double foam it. So we're gonna fold the foam one to each other and then remove the backing of it. And then we're gonna double layer one on one side and then one on the other. And the hardest part of this whole thing is removing that protective barrier. We're gonna place it on the back of that floral like I mentioned earlier. And I did come back with some RV17 and added more of that pink because I really wanted it to tie in very, very nicely. And look how cool. It's not a shaker card. It kind of looks like it. It has those clean lines that you have pop of color. Then I have this congrats die. So I've been kind of going back into my craft room and grabbing dies that I have acquired and don't use. So this is the congrats script die. And I have die cut this out of black cardstock, adding my mono tombow adhesive, which is just clear glue. Go grab your Elmer's, it's a lot cheaper. And then pick it up with my scissors, and we're gonna glue the congrats to the center using the edges of the floral for it. And then last but not least, we're going to be doing some embellishment. And for the embellishment, I'm using some really pretty purpley jewels. And so again, I've added drops of that Tombow Mono clear glue. And then using my jewel picker, I'm going to add these little purple jewels to it. It's going to add a lot of shimmer, a lot of shine, and just really finish the entire card up. And guys, we used very minimal supplies. We did ink blending, we did a little bit of coloring, and we did cutting. And if you don't have a script die, go cut one with your Cricut. And if you don't have that, you can very much stamp a piece of vellum and put it right on the center, and it'll be just as sweet. And guys, that does it for me. I hope you've enjoyed today's tutorial. I've had a great time making this card. I'm loving this purple color combination. Come back next week for another purple color combination for the month of October here with Color Combos with Crystal. If you're looking for some more inspiration, stay tuned. There's another video coming up. And guys, we'll see you next week. Thanks so much. Have an amazing day.